Bloomberg. We are breaking with convention, war, peace, and the presidency. I'm Amy Goodman. This is our last day in Cleveland, Ohio, covering the Republican National Convention. Well, on Wednesday, Democracy Now!'s Dina Guzder and Hani Massoud spoke to members of the international press covering this RNC to find out how other countries view Donald Trump.
My name is Patrick Gower. I've travelled from New Zealand. It took 12 hours to get to LA, another 4 hours to get here. It was basically 24 hours worth of travelling to get here, and I work for an organisation called News Hub, which is a television, radio and digital broadcaster in New Zealand.
What are your impressions of the Republican National Convention so far?
I think it's truly insane. I think it's crazy. I've never seen anything like it. I knew it would be crazy, but it's crazier than I thought. I actually froze in there yesterday just looking at the scenes. I'd never actually seen anything like that before, people acting like that, that kind of worship that borders on brainwashing, in my opinion, you know. So that scene alone blew my mind, let alone bringing in the Donald Trump factor or anything like that. The supporters alone blew my mind, and then we bring in what is actually happening with Donald Trump and the presidency and the potential for him to become the most powerful man in the world, and it's a truly insane experience.
How do people in New Zealand back home look at Donald Trump and what's happening here in America?
It's like a morbid fascination. People can't look away. It's on the news nearly every night. And people in New Zealand don't really feel like it's real. I think there's still a feeling there that people are, this can't be happening to America. This man can't be getting so far as he is. I would say in New Zealand, you know, a really high percentage of people would be against him becoming president of the United States. Somewhere, I'm guessing somewhere around 80 to 90%, maybe even more, would be concerned at Donald Trump becoming president of the United States. We look to America as our world leader. Like it or not, people look to it and they know that. And with Donald Trump becoming president, people will be concerned about the stability of America and the stability of the world.
My name is PHEEL WANG, and we're from Los Angeles, and the TV station that we're representing is the Mandarin TV News. We also have news online, so I think people from all over the world, the Chinese community, can watch it.
What has your experience been so far at the Republican National Convention? What are your impressions of it so far?
I think we saw a lot of whites. Mostly delegates are white male, and we really see very few, minority groups representing at the convention.
How do you think people in China and Taiwan view Donald Trump, and how do you think they would react to a Donald Trump presidency?
Well, due to what they can see from the mainstream media, of course they think that Trump is anti-immigrants.
My name is Alseni Ben BANGOURA. I'm Washington-based journalist from Guinea and editor of alloconakry.com, a multimedia news organization. I'm from Africa, and I know Gaddafi was toppled with the help of a French president. And then Hillary Clinton was part of, that invasion, that toppled Gaddafi. Gaddafi, everybody knows, he was controversial, but he was finally part of the solution. And then the overthrow of his regime definitely contributed in the expansion of international terrorism. And Trump has been saying that he's not into nation building. He's not going to melt, into other countries' affairs, and I think that is a good thing.
Do the people of Guinea have any concerns about Donald Trump?
Well, yes. Donald Trump is a little bit extremist. He's extremist in his worldviews. He's not a kind of leader who has a clear understanding of international affairs. So that remains to be a serious concern to my readers.
So my name is Namrata Brar, and I'm based in New York, and I cover U.S. for NDTV, that's New Delhi Television. We broadcast to about 78 countries, but primarily our audience is South Asian and Indian. Most countries, including India, have a not so positive perception of Donald Trump. And it's been interesting to get that perspective of what the messaging of the Republican Party and Donald Trump is, despite the polls which suggest that only 14% of Indians support Donald Trump's foreign policy. Obviously, he's a very polarizing figure, and our viewers are equally divided, but most of them do tend to have a negative perception. However, there are lots of comparisons between the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Donald Trump doing the rounds of late. In fact, I had a chance to speak to Newt Gingrich, who compared them too. And he said, oh, they're very similar. They are both very practical guys. They are focused on the same things, and they will build a similar leadership style. Now, whether that's good news or bad news, or whether that's intrinsically true, is debatable.
My name is Mohamed Khatib. I'm a news anchor at Sky News Arabia, and we are based in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates.
How do the people of the United Arab Emirates perceive Donald Trump?
Well, we broadcast to the Arab world, to the Middle East region, and the general impression is that he is a bit extremist, and he does not represent the mainstream Republicans.
What are some concerns the Arab world would have if Donald Trump became the next president of the United States of America?
Some of the concerns include that he might be trigger happy, he might be involved directly militarily in the region, and that causes some concern. Other concerns have to do with admitting immigrants to the United States and maybe putting restrictions on Muslims and people from Muslim countries.
My name is GREGORIO, MERAZ, and I'm reporter or correspondent of Televisa in Washington, D.C.
Which country do you report for?
Mexico. Well, this is a worldwide news television network in Spanish.
How do the people of Mexico view Donald Trump?
We believe that Mr. Trump have used very hard terms to describe Mexican workers here. We know the majority of workers are coming to work, searching for resources to feed and maintain their families, and not to commit any crimes. We know that, like in every society, there is crime in my country, but it doesn't necessarily mean that all people is like that.
Right, okay.
So I think we have been looking for the opportunity of talking to him to find out exactly what he was referring to, but unfortunately we have not received any answer yet.
My name is Catherine Lankes. My media outlet is the Austrian press agency, a blog called USA.2016.at and the Kronenzeitung.
What do the people of Austria think about Donald Trump?
In all honesty, mostly they're afraid of what's going to happen to the States, to the world, when Donald Trump becomes president. We just can't grasp or understand what this whole movement is about. Honestly, it's just, it feels like reality TV, but not like reality.
What are some of their main concerns about Donald Trump?
Too extreme, too outlandish, not knowledgeable enough in the field he is in. I think this is it mostly, which is interesting because especially in Austria, we have a, well, far right, that is getting stronger and stronger, and that is not so far from the views Donald Trump is supporting.
My name is AZIM MIAN, and I'm a bureau chief of GOTV, young group of newspapers from Pakistan. I have been here covering the United Nations and the State Department for the last 40 years.
What would a Donald Trump presidency mean to the people of Pakistan, and what concerns in particular do they have about Donald Trump?
His statements about, the Muslim world, and not only Pakistan, even the Muslim world is very apprehensive